لصالح كل دولة من دولها وتعمل على التغلب على التحديات المختلفة التي تقع أمام منطقة شرق المتوسط. هذه القمة السابعة التي تعقد اليوم في القاهرة ما بين الثلاث دول مصر وقبرص واليونان تأتي انطلاقا وامتدادا لإعلان القاهرة الذي انطلق في نوفمبر 2014 يدشن مرحلة جديدة من التعاون الاستراتيجي فيما بين مصر وقبرص واليونان تعمل على توطيد التعاون في المجالات الخاصة بالتنمية الاقتصادية والاجتماعية بما يعود بالرفاهة على منطقة شرق المتوسط وشعوبها، وأيضا تعمل على ركائز تنطلق من مواجهة الأفكار المتطرفة والإرهاب وقضية الهجرة غير المشروعة.
Summit between the leaders among the leaders of Egypt, Cyprus and Greece.
توج بترسيم الحدود البحرية فيما بينهم.
This summit culminates cooperation among the three nations of Egypt, Greece and Cyprus. The maritime boundaries have been demarcated among the three countries. This summit is being held against a background of regional risks and crises. These crises gripping the nation have to be resolved. The resolving of the Arab-Israeli conflict comes on top of the agenda of the summit. Natural gas and other mineral resources also come on top of this agenda. Well, this summit has been the seventh such a summit, and we've been waiting for the press conference to be held soon among the three leaders of Egypt, Cyprus and Greece. The three nations share common grounds.
في تحالفات ترقى إلى المستوى الاستراتيجي ولا تمتد فقط على المستوى الرسمي بل تمتد إلى مستوى صداقة ما بين الشعوب المختلفة.
Actually ties among the three nations are not exclusively limited to official ties or links among the three governments or three nations, but also expand to include friendship among the peoples of the three nations. Leaders, top officials of the three nations have recently been exchanging visits in order to further reinforce ties among them. Today's summit has been the seventh and has been an extension of this strategic alliance among Egypt, Cyprus and Greece in order to square up to any challenge that might be challenging the east of the Mediterranean region or impinge on the will of the peoples of the eastern Mediterranean region. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, well, this summit is being held, ladies and gentlemen, between the leaders of the three nations. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt, His Excellency President Nikos Kostasidis of Cyprus, as well as the Prime Minister, as well as the Prime Minister of Greece.
هذه الروابط التاريخية على مدار سنوات ارتقت إلى هذا المستوى من العلاقة الاستراتيجية ما بين مصر وقبرص واليونان، وتأتي
Ties have been elevated to such a strategic level of cooperation among the three nations.
الاستثمارات للطاقة والغاز الطبيعي بشكل خاص.
Actually, the three countries have been eagerly interested in doing joint investment in the area of drilling for natural gas, demarcation of maritime boundaries among the three nations dates back to the year of 2015. Egypt has made a new find of Dhuhr natural gas find, which fulfills a local demand for natural gas.
هذه القمة السابعة التي تعقد اليوم تأتي في ظروف كبيرة تمر بها المنطقة، مما يجعلها
Regional circumstances, regional as well as global developments have been overshadowing the three countries. So leaders of the three nations are meeting today. Three countries are eagerly interested in safeguarding, preserving security and stability of the region. They attach a high priority to regional stability, as well as combating fanaticism and radicalism. Also, flows of illegal migration have to be overturned, have to be reversed, have to be stemmed across the Mediterranean Sea. Egypt, Cyprus and Greece have ties. Egypt, Cyprus and Greece have always been bound by official ties as well as unofficial links as well. Ties on the official levels between the leaders and the governments of the three countries on the one hand, on one level, and soft power linking or binding the three peoples of the three nations on another level. And the two nations, since they are considered a gateway to Europe, opens the gate wide open to Egypt to have access to the markets of both Cyprus and Greece, as well as the entirety of Europe as well. Egypt has been pursuing, well, Egypt's foreign policy is based on a set of constant, unchanging principles of non-interference by Egypt in the domestic affairs of other nations, and the non-interference by other nations into Egypt's domestic affairs. We have been waiting, ladies and gentlemen, for the press briefing to be given by the three leaders of Egypt, Cyprus and Greece as well.
الرئيس القبرصي السيد نيكوس أنستاسيادس ورئيس الوزراء اليوناني كيرياكوس ميتسوتاكس.
تفضلوا استراحوا.
Please have your seats. Please have your seats. In the name of God the Beneficent and Most Merciful, friends and brothers, His Excellency President Nikos Kostassidis of Cyprus, His Excellency Kyriakos, Prime Minister of Greece, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to your second country of Egypt, to attend the seventh summit between, to attend the three-way summit between Egypt, Cyprus and Greece. This summit has been the seventh since Egypt launched this initiative, three-way initiative, in 2014. I'd like first of all to congratulate Prime Minister of Greece, because he's attending this summit for the first time. This actually gives us an ample, genuine opportunity to discuss all regional international challenges to our region and to enhance all opportunities available in all areas of cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reviewed all aspects of cooperation between Egypt on the one hand and each of Cyprus and Greece on the other, regional developments as well as three-way cooperation. This is going to build on political and economic cooperation among the three countries. We have reiterated the importance of making continued cooperation and consultation on the political and strategic level. We have also agreed that we should enhance joint investment as well as public and parliamentary exchange among our three countries. We've also reiterated that consultations and coordination, concerted efforts should be made among the three countries, particularly at the forum of the Mediterranean natural gas. In this context, we welcome the signing between the three countries on three initiatives, on agreements on the prevention of dual taxation between Egypt and Cyprus, and other agreements between Egypt and the two countries. We have also reiterated that turbulence prevailing in the Middle East region do constitute a real threat to regional countries, and avert and prevent people from enjoying the normal lives and deny them access to development. They also lead these conflicts gripping the region have had their own repercussions on the region, sending constant flows of illegal migration to outside. We have also asserted that fanaticism and radicalism has nothing to do with religion or civilization. We have also demanded that appropriate legislation should be passed in order to avert the growth of such radicalism and preventing such radical organizations from recruiting new elements. We have also asserted that countries which have been supporting logistically supporting extremists and extremists should be stopped. These countries have been harboring elements, terror or radical elements. We have also discussed illegal migration and how to address this migration, taking well into account demographical disparities among the three countries and the circumstances of labor market. We thought that this migration should be capitalized on in view of the circumstances of each country's labor markets. We've also asserted that a political settlement, an overall political settlement to the crisis in Libya, is the only way to settlement, and the genesis of the crisis in Libya should be addressed by virtue of all resolutions made by the United Nations Security Council. Territorial, we are in favor of territorial integrity of Libya and radically stemming all outside interference by supporting radical militias. We have also discussed the unfolding situation in Syria. We have said that there has been a dire need to continue dialogue in Syria among orders under the umbrella of the United Nations in order to thrash out and aspire to political settlement. We have totally rejected the use of force and imposing a fait accompli as total and flagrant breach of all international norms. Talking about the Palestinian cause, which has always been and will continue to be the core of the crisis in the Middle East, we have reiterated that the Palestinian people has perfect right to Palestinian statehood along the boundaries of June the 4th of 1967, with East Jerusalem as its capital. We have our talks have also dealt with the region in the Eastern Mediterranean and the upsurge of positions by certain countries, and we have denounced the all unilateral exercises, unilateral practices which would otherwise threaten the stability of the region. We have also said that stability and security constitute important factors which have to be preserved and safeguarded, without which we cannot reap any fruit or any result of the three-way cooperation. We have also lent support to Cyprus for thrashing and hammering out a settlement to the Cypriot conflict according to international legislation and international mechanisms. We have also asserted that more cooperation has to be forged among all Arab and African countries on the one hand and European nations on the other, particularly in the wake of the success of the first Arab summit held in Sharm el-Sheikh in February 2019. As the fourth session of the EU Arab Summit to be held in Athens in this October, and in the light of activating a free trade agreement between Africa and European nations, and the importance which Egypt attaches to the Suez Canal economic zone, which makes it a gateway giving access of all international and global products to the African and Arab market if they get certificate of origin. In view of all these, I have to offer my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the Excellencies, both leaders, for as the three countries have shown mutual interest in reinforcing cooperation. Now let me give the floor to His Excellency President Nikos Christopoulos of Cyprus. Mr. President, my friend, President of Egypt, Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of the Arab Republic of Egypt, His Excellency Prime Minister Kyriakos of Greece, I'd like to express my special thanks to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the warm welcoming as well as the splendid and red carpet welcome we've been accorded here since we arrived in Egypt. And let me also congratulate the new Prime Minister of Greece on his assumption of his new post. Actually, we have been supporting this regional mechanism for cooperation in order to spell out a common vision for reviving peace and stability in the region. We, the three countries, have signaled common willingness of enhancing and expanding dialogue among the three countries in order to probe ways and means, further ways and means of cooperation and collaboration between Cairo on the one hand and both countries, Cyprus and Greece on the other. We are also so happy to have the private sector more engaged in, and we also welcome the taking part by the private sector in these in economic cooperation, and with the three memorandums of understanding having been signed. Let me here cite or refer to the recently signed agreement on the averting of dual taxation among our countries. And we have also agreed to further enhance cooperation among our three countries. There has been close cooperation between Egypt's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as represented by the Egyptian Diplomatic Institute, which is affiliated to the Egyptian Foreign Service. They have been cooperating with our country, and we have been cooperating, we have forged our countries, Cyprus and Egypt, have forged positions in favor of helping or assisting expatriates in each other's countries, as well as fighting extremism, which has been a core issue for three-way cooperation. We have signaled willingness for further cooperation by signing further memorandums of understanding.
Mediterranean Gas Forum,
and let me greet East of the Mediterranean Forum for Natural Gas, and the signing by the Egyptian Electricity Authority on the one hand, and the relevant authority in the two other countries on power grid linkages. We have also dealt with illegal migration, which we've agreed, which will have adverse repercussions on. We have also dealt with the importance of dealing with expatriates of the three countries who have been living in fourth countries. I have briefed His Excellency the President of Egypt and His Excellency the Prime Minister of Greece on the endeavours being made by the Republic of Cyprus in order to make concerted efforts as to climate change. And we have also said that we're going to assign climate experts in order to agree a common position. Today's meeting is being held against the background of special circumstances of concern, particularly as far as Libya and Syria and other flashpoints, hotbeds of conflicts in the region. We have asserted the importance of the territorial integrity of these countries. Syria, it's necessary to preserve territorial integrity of Syria and Libya, and an independent statehood for both for Palestine should be created with due respect to the right of Israelis, and as expected, I have briefed the two leaders, his President Abdel Fattah Sisi and the Greek Prime Minister, on the unfolding Greek conflict, taking well into account, and we have briefed the United Nations Secretary General as well about the latest development, particularly as unfolding circumstances are expected to be conducive to constructive dialogue. We have agreed that circumstances since Turkey's totally unacceptable behavior or acts should not be tolerated. Those acts by Turkey do not only overshadow the constructive atmosphere of dialogue, but they have also been in flagrant and blatant breach of the international law as well. I have also briefed my dear friend, the Prime Minister of Greece, that Cyprus is going to use up all diplomatic means available in order to face up or to confront all acts and all Turkey's infringements and impingements on the rights of Cyprus. Actually, cooperation among the three countries in the area of energy depends mainly on the extraction of sources of energy. So, of course, energy cannot be fully exploited, cannot be fully capitalized on unless there's cooperation. But against a backdrop of Turkey's irresponsible acts by Turkey, this cannot be continued. So Turkey's acts have been in total and flagrant breach of stability in the region, and we do hope to be supported. We need support by the European Union in order to face up to Turkey's acts, irresponsible acts, because in order to implement the international law, because the entire international community cannot tolerate or condone the diplomacy of guns by Turkey, exercised by Turkey. And again, let me express the best wishes of the Cypriot people to the Presidents of Egypt and the Prime Minister of Greece for their unrelenting support to Cyprus, to the position of Turkey. Greece and Egypt flagrantly denounce and Egypt and Turkey fully condemn the irresponsible acts made by Turkey, which have been in breach of the international maritime law as well as the International Maritime Convention. We are so grateful to both friendly countries, Greece and Egypt, for their continued and uninterrupted support to Cyprus in order to eliminate occupation of the island of Cyprus and to help the Cypriot government to restore full sovereignty over its territory. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, with my friend, the President of Egypt, and with my friend, the Prime Minister of Greece, we have agreed the need to deepen and expand ties among our three countries as well as with the European Union in order our position, the position forged by our three countries, is so important for the European Union, and agreed, and our position will be a great position, will be of great help to the stability and security for the European Union and the three countries, and for stemming illegal migration. Your Excellency, Your Excellency the President of Egypt, and Your Excellency the Prime Minister of Egypt, expanding our cooperation is an axiomatic thing. We should do it, of course. We should continue expanding our cooperation. The creation of a permanent secretariat in Cyprus among the three countries is likely to help a partnership among our three countries. Once more, I'd like to very warmly thank His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for hospitality accorded to me and my delegation, and let me say that I'm inviting President Sisi to Cyprus to attend the 8th three-way summit among our three countries to be held in Cyprus. Now I'm going the floor to His Excellency the Prime Minister of Greece. Presidents, as well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have met the friends of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as well as the Cypriot President, which signals how strong our ties, our links among our three countries have always been. Let me offer my deep thanks to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for his hospitality. This is the first time to take part in this summit, as I have been newly appointed to this post as Prime Minister of Egypt. Our country, our ties, Greece, is bound by historic ties with Egypt, which goes back to centuries ago. I fully agree with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi about his points of views. We have also agreed that we should give impetus, we should give momentum to friendship, stability and security among our peoples. We have our three-way cooperation, I'm asserting, is wide open to all fourth countries which may see eye to eye with us on the values we share. We have agreed to tackle all core regional issues to help to stabilize the region, such as issues in Syria. Syria has been playing an important role because Egypt now is the current chair of the African Union, and a fellow country fighting with us against the terrorism. And we do hope to cement ties furthermore with the European Union. Egypt can stem all flows of migration to Europe, and Egypt has been hosting thousands and thousands of refugees on its land, and has been combating terrorism alone. And Egypt, throughout history, has been playing host a very large Greek community with whom I'm going to meet. I'm so happy to meet this Greek community, which has always been a live bridge between the real bridge. This Greek community has always been a live bridge between the cultures of both Egypt and Greece. Now, Egypt has been spearheading cooperation in the area of natural gas, and we are welcoming Eastern Mediterranean Forum for Energy, which will be making consultations and concerted efforts among the three countries in the area of energy while preserving the environment. It's going to reinforce cooperation. In addition to energy, this seventh summit has made tangible results in other areas. There has been an agreement has been signed on averting smuggling of archaeological artifacts, which is of importance to three countries. And this summit has been an opportunity to tell His Excellency the President and the presidents of the two countries about an initiative unleashed recently by my country, Greece, in order to organize a relevant summit in the year 2020, and the signing of an executive program to encourage three-way investment, taking well into account the earnest procedures in the areas of agriculture and protection of the environment. And our country, Greece, has been making large strides and has been opening its doors to the outside world by forging cooperation with Egypt. We have also talked about a program dubbed as the Coming to Roots, launched by Egypt and Greece in order to accommodate all the two countries' expatriates. We have also talked about tourism and fighting against pollution, and we have probed the possibility of a permanent secretariat to be headquartered in Cyprus in order to support this presidential initiative. It's obvious that His Excellency, we have expressed to both presidents that Greece has always been in full support of a permanent solution and settlement to the Palestinian cause, depending and counting heavily on the initiatives made by the United Nations as well as relevant international resolutions for both countries, Palestinians and Israel. We are now making continued efforts in order to reunite the island of, and we have totally denounced all irresponsible acts made by Turkey, which have been in flagrant breach of the international law. We have also condemned the Turkey's provocative acts in the Aegean Sea, which have also been violating international law and principles of good neighborliness. And the two leaders of Egypt and Cyprus we shared identical views on these. Let me cite here. The two countries of Greece and Egypt have, let me say, have have been quoted as supporting the position of my country, Greece, in support of oil well number 7 on the Mediterranean against responsible acts by Turkey. I have talked about this with President Anastasiades of Cyprus bilaterally, and Nikos Vendias, the Foreign Minister of Greece, yesterday visited Cyprus, citing the behavior of Turkey, the acts of Turkey in Varosa, which are impinging on international law. Turkey has been persisting in their own responsible behavior, not only in Cyprus but other countries. So we have been cooperating with Nicosia in supporting the European Arab Summit on October the 17th and 18th, and in cooperation with European partners. It gives me great pleasure that our positions, that we share identical views on Libya, Syria, as well as ways and means for settling the Palestinian cause. Let me conclude by my intervention by sending a message of persistence and resistance and supporting peace, security in the region, in the east of the Mediterranean region. And let's continue our drive towards peace and stability of the region for the sake of our peoples. Our mechanism, three-way mechanism of cooperation is going to continue, and we're looking forward to President Nikos to hosting us for the 8th summit, and I'm fully confident that these messages, positive messages, and will act like a lighthouse that was going to give out light along all planes of cooperation. Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, for your hospitality and for your good words. Thank you very much. Once more, let me welcome the Excellencies, the President of Cyprus and the Prime Minister of Greece, and we do hope to meet in Cyprus soon for the 8th summit. Thank you very much.